Hello and welcome to what I call Blue Moon music. So I'm excited about this painting. It's the first time I'm painting it, but we're just gonna kind of wing it and see what we do. So I hope you guys are having a good week. It's been hot. When I get done with this, I have to go mow the yard. So what we're using here is a pretty simple palette. We have black, we have white, we have light blue, dark blue, brown, orange, and yellow. Of course, you can do this painting in any colors that you'd like. So, and right now I'm using a 1-inch flat brush just to kind of cover some of the bigger areas. The background is black. You can use a black canvas for this. I'm not really a fan. I'd rather just paint the background. And we'll be painting this one. I am sure we'll be painting this one again. We'll be painting this one on the 22nd of July, along with an encore of our Fireflies, which was a completely sold out class this past Tuesday. I'm just trying to be really careful to paint around the butterflies. I could just paint this all black and then paint the butterflies on top of it. I probably should have done it. Either way, it works fine. But I'm positive we'll be doing this one again in September. And I am working on 12 by 16 canvas. Of course, you can do this on any size canvas that you have. 11 by 14, 8 by 10, 16 by 20. Whatever canvas you have or would like to do it on, it'll be fine. Not sure. Let's see if we can get around this butterfly. And of course, don't worry if you get paint where it shouldn't be. Like I got a little bit on this guitar here. It will cover it up. That's what I said. You could have just painted the whole canvas black and then just painted the butterflies. Since I went ahead and drew them on there, it would have just been redundant. So, see, not too hard. This part is easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm just hoping and praying that my dogs, hey, get out there. Sorry, let my dogs behave. Just before I started this, they went crazy barking. And of course, where you get to a place where there's a bit more detail, you can switch out and go with a smaller brush. Whatever works best for you. There's no hard, fast rules. It's supposed to be relaxing and fun. And I'd rather be doing this than mowing the yard. And the laundry and everything else I have to do. This is way more fun. Anybody take advantage of Prime Deal stuff? The holder that the phone is on is something new I'm trying. And I also picked up a new camera because all I had was my phone, which is all I'm using for this one. I'll have to plan that camera thing out a little. I gotta figure it out. There. And the only other place there's black is going to be this round circle here. Perfect. Just look it over and see if there's anywhere you might have missed, like right here, kind of coming around here. I think I'm going to soften this edge a little bit. And we'll reshape this a bit too when it dries. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's see, what should we do next? I'm thinking I don't want to wait on the blue a little bit. Let's do the neck of the guitar. Now, I'm using a light brown. I'm going to mix a tiny bit of black with it and just make it a little bit darker. You can use any color brown you'd like. I don't want it too dark. I want to kind of make it lighter. I can always come back with the darkness. We'll see what that looks like. I'm going to leave the slightest little bit here so I know where these little lines are, but I guess we can put them anywhere. I'm not going to do that. It's not my first rodeo. And the reason I kind of went to the brown first before the blue is because I want this background to dry. Because when I do the blue for the guitar itself, and we will hit that in a minute. I had to let the dogs out because they went crazy barking. All right, let's get back to this. And we're going to do this bottom part here. I'm gonna take my little brush. Well, I will wait until after that dries a little bit. I'm just gonna do little shadows. But at this point, clean my brush really good. And let's start playing with our blue. You could use the big brush. Probably should use the big brush. This is the problem when your background's not dry. That's okay. Just gonna try and be careful on the edges. You can see that it's close to dry. It's not as shiny. So at home, of course, if you want to stop, obviously you can just stop and pause this video at any time. If you want to stop and just let it dry and just get back to it, that's a fantastic way of doing it. Well, anyway, for those that know, some of my paint party people know, and obviously some of my friends know. Not everyone does, though. A few weeks ago, my mom fell and broke her femur, and so it's been pretty crazy with the regular job, and all of us siblings, I've been taking turns to, as much as we can and as much as our availability is, everyone has different obligations, but making sure that somebody is with her at all times, besides my dad, just so that there's someone in case she needs help getting up, or of course I'm taking care of general household tasks and things like that. But she's doing really well. She had her staples taken out yesterday, and so there's been days when it's kind of slowed a little bit of production down, but not too bad. Like fortunately for us, my brother and sister-in-law, they work from home, so they have come to spend a few days here. I think they're here until Monday. And then, since they're staying with them this weekend, the rest of us can go to work and do what we need to do. And then come Monday, we'll be back taking turns hanging out with Mom. Alrighty. What does it say? Alright, 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 alright. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, because this is all dry, I can add a little bit more to it to make sure, I mean, not dry, this is all wet. We want it wet. We want this to be wet. And we're going to dabble into the little bit of dark blue. And there's only a tiny bit of dark blue on the palette, because we just have just some dark blue. Kind of the opposite of highlights, I suppose. But we'll add those into. If you do too much dark blue, just come back in over it with some of the light blue. So like if I wanted to push that blue back a little bit, I just came in with some, I didn't even clean my brush, just came in with some light blue. And just have a little bit of fun with it. It creates a bit of motion and interest rather than just being a flat color. Don't do too much. I don't think I'm bordering on too much here. And then, so I'm going to take is some white and I'm going to paint the moon in. I purposely added just the tiniest bit of blue to that. But I just want it wet paint basically. I don't like any of the canvas to be unpainted. It will, you'll see it. You can tell and it'll look unfinished. And I think this is all dry and that's good. It dries quickly. So now we get to do the fun part. Let's take this blue paint because it's dry, so the paint will show up wonderfully on it. We're going to just do little swipes of blue in a circular motion around the moon. So of course you can do this painting any color you like. But the paints I'm using are a variety of different brands, from Deco Art Americana, which is a craft paint, but I really love it. It flows so nicely and shows up really nice. Hobby Lobby's Master's Touch. And then there's the Hobby Lobby's own brand. Crafters Collection. I have to look and see what it was called. Also a very good paint and inexpensive. But you'll find, whatever brands work for you. You can do whatever colors work for you. Let's do this. Okay, so it's kind of like a Starry Night thing. It's close. We're going to come back in a little bit with some white. We'll do the guitar and everything then. All right, so now that this is drying some, I think I'm going to take a little bit of the gold, a little bit of the brown, and a little bit of the white. Yeah. I want this to dry. I'm just going to kind of add some interest, so kind of like how wood has a grain in it. I mean, it's obviously too thick to be a grain, but just add a little interest to it, so it's not just. I'm going to add some orange and some gold to make an orangey gold color. I'm just going to mix a little bit of that in together. And again, feel free to do any colors you want. I'm going to paint around the hole. And I'm sure there is a perfectly good technical term for this hole, the guitar hole. The place you lose your picks. How's that? And I'm going to use this orangey yellow also to do, probably should go with the smaller brush, but that's all right. This is working out nice. The knobs. And so we want that to dry. I want this to dry some more before I do anything else. Now we're going to take some of this blue again and create big flowers. Do a few over here. And for this, I used the shape of the brush. I'm going to mix some dark blue and light blue together. Add some movement in the sky. But I don't want it as light. I don't want it light like the guitar and the flower things. I just want it to be kind of like, at first glance, you might not even notice it, kind of thing. Just kind of treat it the same way you would like highlights. Just a little bit of movement in the sky. There we go. And on the camera, you may or may not be able to see that very well. I'm not sure until we're done editing this. All right, so I'm going to take my gold, and I've been slopping paint all over my palette here. Let's see if I can. All right, it's dry. I don't want a light yellow goldish color. but I don't want it like fluorescent yellowy, so that's why I went with the gold. We're going to paint in our butterflies. And as long as this is dry, you can generally paint over the black most times, depending on paint color, of course, it'll show up fine because we've mixed white in with this gold, and even if we hadn't, it might show up fine. I'd have to test it. But most definitely because we've mixed some white in with it, which makes it more opaque, and it shows up nicely. This one up here. I'm going to take my smaller brush. I think I'm going to go with just straight gold. I have to let my dogs in. It's kind of hot out there. They were barking, so I let them outside. Kind of outline. So you make sure this blue is dry, otherwise you'll get an ugly brown. But again, we'll have to, some colors are better than others at covering. And with this orange, we'll have to come back over. That's okay. We'll let it dry and then we'll come back. Of course, if I'm doing it so wet, it'll take forever to dry. And the same thing you did with the blue, and just these little circular little strokes going around it, not too much, don't go too crazy. Okay, so now we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm going to take, we're almost done. I'm going to take my medium brush. I'm going to mix a little tiny bit, very, very, very whitish yellow, very little yellow. I'm going to kind of come in very pale. But then I'm going to add some white without even cleaning my brush off and just kind of go over that white again. I'm going to leave it white up here and just kind of yellow down there. And then we're also going to take that very, very light yellowish white, just add to our little flutterflies. All right, so I'm going to flip this upside down. And I'm hoping that most of this is dry-ish. Like I said, this is going to be the hardest part, and how we can do this so that it's not. The best way to do this would probably be a white paint marker. Very carefully. Now I find it easier to pull down, start at the top and pull down, than it is to start at the bottom and pull up, which is why I chose to do it that way. These lines don't have to be perfectly straight. It's not meant to be a photorealistic representation of a guitar. But obviously we want to make them as straight as we possibly can and as thin as we possibly can. As you see, I had a little rough start there. Okay, so I get all the time, people say to me, oh my gosh, I can't even draw a straight line. And I always tell them, well, neither can I. And that is why God created a ruler. Street lines, it depends on, I can maybe draw a straight line in a short distance. I can draw a straight line if I'm not holding a brush by the end and dragging it down the canvas. But on a piece of paper, it's flat on a surface, it's completely different. I was just hoping to get all 6 lines inside the neck of the guitar, and it looks like I've succeeded at that. All right, essentially we are done. From here you can do anything you'd like. If you want to add more highlights, you want to add more colors, or we could add some more of that orange. Just be creative. Have fun with it. Let's see if it shows up a little bit better. Yeah, at this point, just kind of go over anywhere that needs a little extra helping hand. Anywhere that might need, like the orange might need another coat to cover with the black canvas. Come back in with the smaller brush. Sometimes with some colors you'll have to do more than one layer. You just need to wait for one layer to dry before you can do the other. I think, let's be consistent. I'm actually going to kind of come around with some orange. Alrighty, well I hope you enjoyed our Blue Moon music painting. And again, I'll be doing this one next January 22nd. And then I guarantee you we'll be doing it again. And probably in September, possibly in August. Alright, well thanks for watching. And we'll be back with you shortly with, I've got a whole bunch of new paintings coming up. So there'll be more coming. So just keep an eye, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the flip side.